It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show on a Monday morning as we kickstart your week. And yes, it's time for us to talk relationships right now. Now, we can't deny that merging aspects of your financial life with your partner can make things a whole lot easier, like using one bank account for big purchases, saving for that big holiday or the renovations, or even just for regular grocery purchases. Those are also important. But when it comes to putting one name on something that you both use, what's the best way to make that decision?
Oh man, I think question marks ringing across the country. Are you and your partner struggling to figure out how to handle certain accounts and bills? In fact, the whole thing. How do you and your partner handle your finances in a relationship? If all you and your partner talk about is the bills, then you're in luck, because our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the building to engage with your questions and comments on this topic. In Cat and Hour, Abundance Hour, we've got a lot of questions I think to ask as well here. 021 430 9881. Please give us a shout. Questions, comments, advice.
Dr. Eve is our financial cupid this morning.
Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, do you really think I'm a financial advisor? I like that financial cupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, because money and love and sex just don't go together.
What do you mean they don't go together?
Don't go together.
Okay, all right, okay. Let's start
Right.
from the beginning. Take it back.
Let's start from the beginning.
So there must be some benefits to the idea of merging your finances with your partner, right?
In theory, it's a fantastic idea. It's the same as like merging families and merging
Weddings and all these things.
all these wonderful things together. So the first thing that one has to do before you begin merging, it makes financial sense. I
Yes.
kind of did my homework and I read up about that stuff. It does make financial sense on a lot of different levels. The first thing that I want our viewers to think about is, what is the financial personality of the person that I'm going to be merging with?
Oh my
What does that
word.
mean? Financial personality. Isn't that a great term?
It is. I
Financial
love it. I love it.
To
personality.
divorce the two, but you are who you are, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. And who are you in terms of your values and your goals around money? That's the first thing you should be asking on like your first date. You want to be sussing
On
that
your first
out.
date, don't you suss that out?
Don't you fish
with
for those
the-
sorts of things? You don't really.
with the bill dance.
Yeah, that's it.
You see who?
You do the shuffle. You see who does the shuffle the longest.
And you've got to do that online as well. So you want to know seriously, what is a financial personality? Because that can cause enormous conflict. Money causes enormous conflict in relationships. That's why I said it doesn't go together with love and sex. So the financial personality, meaning you really have to talk to your partner about what they value,
Yeah.
what their goals are around money, around saving and around spending. You look like you want to say something.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
Look, there's been lyrics and songs written all over time about how money can't buy you love and how it's not supposed to be influencing who you love, how you love. So why does money have such a big impact on relationships?
Money's about status, about ambition or lack of ambition. It's also a lot about trust, hugely around trust, and mostly with couples around communication. It's really important. This whole thing about when, money goes, love goes out the window. Yeah, it does. And I want viewers to challenge me on that. Maybe I'm just being cynical as usual. Yeah,
But
go ahead.
when you enter into, because we're looking at it very much individualistically, if that's the
Yeah.
term, but we're a team, and often your financial goals then merge as well. So that's why it becomes such a thing, is because you're both united in your goals. I've got a very interesting question to ask in that regard, but I'm going to save it for just a little bit. If you've got a question to ask us, please give us a call, 021 430 9881. Are you and your partner struggling to figure out how to handle certain accounts and bills and your financial well-being as a collective? Give us a call.
Onions. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, it's already sparked a very, I won't say heated debate, but a very heated and interesting discussion. We're talking about finances and relationships and where the two should meet. And we had a great question coming through from Sibusiso, and I would imagine a lot of people broaching something like this. It's quite generalized, but what do you do in the instance of being the partner, possibly maybe the breadwinner, and your partner, in this case his girlfriend, is spending too much money? Because it starts to play into a whole lot of different things. Are you then the father who says you can't?
Yeah.
Do you give her pocket money? Are you a partnership? Is it her money? Is it his money?
Yeah.
This is a can of worms.
Looking at the expression on your face, and you went into that critical father look, like,
Yeah.
how dare you spend my money? And she's feeling like a child. So I would love to know from Sibusiwe and everybody else who's listening, because I think it's kind of a common thing. Are you communicating honestly with her around what you do have and what she can spend. I'm even uncomfortable saying that. There should be a joint budget that every couple should put
Where
together.
you both take responsibility
Completely,
for that. Yeah.
completely. There should be parity around this is what we are getting in and this is what we can take out. Has to be a budget around that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kat.
When's the best time for you and your
Yeah.
partner to decide that it's time to start considering talking about finances together and potentially merging things together and getting into those conversations? So
Yeah.
Is it a month into the relationship, a year in, once you're married,
Is it a
before you're
marriage?
married? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to values and goals because I think you get a sense when you first start dating somebody around what their values and goals is, around how they spend money on you or on themselves and how they feel about it. You can sense that, straight away when you start dating somebody. And then as you are merging your life together, there are situations where you are then going to have expectation around what are we going to do with money. I wouldn't start that, right in the beginning until there is some form of commitment. Unfortunately, a lot of people get into that in a forced way. We have to be sharing a home together, or I don't want to pay rent, and let's rather share rent because that makes things easier. And people tend to do that pretty quickly. I think sometimes way too quickly, where they find that, my
it's
rent
gonna
is
help,
up,
yeah.
or my contract is up, or let's just move in together. That becomes kind of problematic. But let's take a kind of an optimal situation where you've got people who are committed and they're living together. Absolutely, before you sign that first lease or that bond, you totally want to know what your values and your goals and your relationship to money is and what your expectation is of each other and what will be the best, because I'm always looking at what's best for the couple. What is the best and most advantageous situation financially for that couple?
Yeah.
So if it's going to be, well, let's have one bank account, or if it's going to be, well, we're going to get a bond if we have one bank account, how we still can be independent, because I'm like really into independence. How do we still maintain a sense of independence, even though we're going to financially optimize on merging as well? I
Yeah.
think that's an important thing to
Yeah.
do.
Because this is on your shoulder as an individual, and ultimately, yes, it's a partnership, but you've got to be able to take care of your own stake within that.
I would really hope that, Graham, that people do become independent or maintain independence and look after their money and
Yeah.
look after their well-being, their financial well-being. A lot of people get into relationships without disclosing
Yeah, I was going to say
what their
open cards, you have
finances
to, yeah.
are, that they actually go in and they've got debt, or there's a bankruptcy, or else I haven't told you we've got a few kids that we're supporting, but we just haven't told you, or a few ex-wives along the way. People kind of hold that and don't share that right at the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'll tell you what, we encourage you to give us a call on 0214309881. Share your stories with us. And when we come back, I don't want to oversimplify things, but I do want Dr. Eve to kind of break it down and define to us when we talk about your values, goals, and expectations regarding finances. What are those? What different kinds exist, and how do you
Yeah.
begin that conversation with your partner so that you're talking about the right things? It's not just
Yeah.
like a blah, blah, blah thing, and then
Avoid
nothing
the
was...
curveball when it comes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we'll be back again with Dr. Eve very shortly.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are talking finances and relationships. When do you merge? How do you handle your different financial personalities when you are merging? Very interesting questions, and something coming through now from one of our callers. Sadly, we lost them halfway through the call, but getting the gist of what they were asking. What happens then when one person's earning, one person isn't? Maybe take it a step further. Someone loses their job during the process. That obviously is going to put a lot of emotional strain, apart from anything else, but financially, it's when the cracks start appearing.
So I'm going to pick up on the word that you're using, which is emotions. There is just so much emotion attachment that we have towards money. And Kat, you were talking just now around values. What do we value?
Yes.
Where do we get our financial values from? It depends really very much on what kind of household you were brought up in. If you were brought up in a household where there was scarcity, you may very well go into your relationships with a sense of
Wartime
financial,
mentality.
exactly, financial scarcity, and therefore I've got to hoard it and I've got to keep it all for myself. Or you may have the opposite approach, which is life is short and I really want to spend it all. And that's where the conflict comes, the emotion comes between couples, where the one may say, well, listen, I've got the money now and I want us to spend it. I want to buy a fancy car, I want to go on a holiday, I want to go for weekends away. And the other one is saying, well, we need to think about retirement. It's like, what? We're like 40 years old. What do you have to think about retirement for? And that creates enormous conflict around deeply held emotional attachment that we have to money and fear, because we all have money's about fear, really. And so that creates a conflict between couples.
I have to just quickly, while we're there, just to say an extension of if the man loses his job, is it different to the woman losing her job?
There is, because he goes into a deeper sense of shame. because of the expectation around man being, the provider and the protector. And he feels, incredibly terrible about being the person who's not earning and bringing in money at that time. So which is why right from the beginning, one should budget to be able to have money in reserve so he doesn't go into a sense of shame around that.
Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking about the idea of, when you get those notifications when money goes off your account. Now,
That's what
it's
I
happening,
was
you're like, quick. You're like, no, but I didn't. Okay.
There's
all
another.
right, okay.
Oh, goodness,
There we go.
I would be
there we
really
go. Okay.
find that uncomfortable. Oh, my goodness. Separate accounts, please.
Is that the way to do it? So wait,
Yeah.
so how about this idea that
Yeah.
you have the family communal account
Yes.
and whatever the long-term goals of the family are, they are contributed to in this communal account. And then there's
Yeah.
the independent accounts
I love that
where you
idea.
can spend whatever you want to spend on whatever you want to
Yeah.
spend without any fear of judgment or retribution.
I like that, but I also think there has to be transparency
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah.
Not
Not like
accountability.
coming home and be like, hey baby, here's the slip.
you know how
this
many
is what
people
I
do that,
spent.
Kat?
She gets
I
your
mean,
tax
you know
break
how
at the
many
end of
people-
each season, and you get the stuff. No, because that would kill me because I'm terrible at saving. I love making money, but I'm awful at saving. My partner is the best saver ever. At
But
the end of the
there
year,
you
she'd be
go.
like, "Look how much I've saved."
That's a fantastic combo. But you know how many people have to do that, especially women who are not earning money, have to come home with a slip, this is how much bread and milk I bought this week. Or this is how much avos cost. Why did you buy avos this week? Because they're very expensive.
No.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah. And
Show me the
this
slip. I
causes
don't believe
conflict.
it was
And then they kind
$5.99.
of sit in my therapy room. It's like, that's why we're not having sex, because of the avos.
Do we still have another chat segment with
Do we still have a
Dr.
picture of the
I think
avos on the wedding ring? That's what I want to know.
He proposed to me with an Evo. Now we're not having sex anymore. Oh my God.
Avos are really expensive. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
All right, I think we still have one more segment with Dr. Eve, and we're going to get into it. Please give us a call, share with us your experiences, your stories, maybe your solutions of how to make the financial situation in your relationship work perfectly. 0214309881.
Take us at the screen.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, I'm glad all of you are enjoying this topic so much, even those that are celebrating their birthdays today. Hopefully this sheds some good light on your birthday. But listen, we've got a caller right now on the line. Anonymous, good morning.
Good morning, Katehu. Nice to speak to you. I have so many questions for...
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Give us
Okay.
some context
So many-
and fire away.
Okay, so many questions for Dr. Eve. I left my job and my town to join into a relationship with a chap who only after I resigned and started packing gave me a document to sign that he won't be liable for any contribution towards my finances and his inheritance of his children's inheritance. I moved to him because I loved him, and I signed the document because I wasn't in the relationship for his money. He is an established businessman, and yeah, I'm here without a job. He actually sort of nicely forces me into opening a business on my finances, and it's not my line, but I will do it because I need the money. He doesn't contribute to cell phone costs or fuel or anything. He expects me to look good. Not buying me clothes or makeup or anything. He wants to go on a holiday, although I don't contribute anything because I just decided I'm not going to adopt him. If he wants to go on holiday and he wants me with, I go with. And it's a difficult situation because it puts a lot of pressure on this relationship. I have a child that I have to take care of. I have to pay school fees and everything. What can I ask him to? Also, he's a vegetarian, so he said to me, he will pay for the basic food stuff. If we want anything extra, then we have to buy it. So
Okay. Are we going to cut in because we want time for Dr. Eve to answer? Dr. Eve.
What to do?
Fire away.
I'm just looking
What-
at the men in
what to do and
black
what to say.
and their responses. Their faces are like, what? What to say? Well, first of all, this is like really unhealthy love. And I'm listening to your voice, Anonymous, and I'm hearing the tension in your voice. And I know that you know that this is really unhealthy love. I wouldn't even call this love. You've been trapped into a situation. I wonder if he knew that you were expecting him to finance you before you left your town and you moved to him. Did he know that you had that expectation?
Yes and no, because from the word go, I said to him, my husband passed away 3 years ago. I don't have anything out of the deceased estate,
Yeah.
but a little bit, which will have to keep me alive. And I said to him, I have to do 2 jobs to be able to take care of me and my child.
But you
Yeah,
then,
that's
so there wasn't real clarity on the fact that you were moving for love to go there. You obviously expected him to take care of you if you were going to move there without a job.
Yeah, well, he said I must open my own business, which I'm still willing to
Yeah,
do.
Anonymous, I'm just aware of the time. It sounds like this man says too much. It sounds like he has just way too much control over you and over your
Yeah.
life.
Can I ask Anonymous
Yes,
something?
yes, go ahead.
Anonymous,
Sorry,
when,
Kat.
when you're honest with yourself, Anonymous, and you look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, does this feel like love? What's the answer that comes to you?
No.
Woo!
Are they?
Bye, you got your
I think it's
answer.
as simple as that, because
Yeah.
I think you found yourself in a very difficult position right now, especially where your child is concerned.
Yeah.
And you know, you've moved cross towns, and now you're considering starting off a business that is not necessarily in your line, and everything is kind of working towards an area where it's just not going to work for you life-wise, and I can't see where you find happiness in that. Not that I, purport to know everything about happiness, but it just doesn't sound like there's any happiness for you in this ever. And I feel like an exit strategy of some sort needs to be
I would agree. And the
implemented.
first-
And I don't know if you're able to do that, Anonymous, if you're able to find your way to a position of strength for yourself and your child, and then progressively move out of this. Do you think that's
Yes,
possible for you?
Thank you.
I think
we've just
that's- yeah.
affirmed for you what you do know, which is that this is an unhealthy relationship and this is not healthy love. And somehow you've got yourself into a situation which is very tangled.
And I would hope that Anonymous has friends and, maybe
Support.
extended family support around, people that you can speak to about this every day, because I think any of your friends that care about you will be able to tell
Yeah.
you that this is not good.
This is not healthy
not
love.
good.
So get a job, start collecting money for yourself and don't tell him.
I think, yeah, no, I think ultimately it's when those big questions, why, when you're asking why, that's ultimately the start of that process. But you can take control of your life, and that is a choice.
That's
That
a
is
great-
the first step.
that's a great- I like that.
Wonderful
Anonymous.
discussion. Thank you so much. And Anonymous, we are,
Thank you.
right there with you, sending all of our love and all the best of luck with the next phase.
Yeah, we'll give you
Wow.
after the break, and we'll do this again next week, right, Dr. Eve? Thanks, babe.
I look forward to it.
Yo, that was emotional, bro.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz. Wow.